Hello techies, welcome back to ElfinCode channel. If you're new to this channel, please do subscribe this channel, like the video and hit the notification button. So today we will be learning about one of the design pattern. It is again a kind of structural design pattern, and it is called as adapter design pattern. We will bifurcate this video into two part. One would be theory part where we will understand what this adapter pattern is, and the second part would be a kind of practical part where we will be doing some kind of practical problem solving using adapter pattern. So now what exactly adapter pattern is? Now, I can give you one example. Let's suppose you have a charger. Okay, so you are here in India, and you have one charger which is kind of, which you have imported from USA, and there's one another charger which you are using is from India. Now, to run that USA charger, you need an adapter because that pin won't be going into the normal socket. Okay, so you need an adapter. Why you need an adapter? Because the Indian switches are not, Indian plugs are not suitable to use that, USA charger. So you have a USA charger, you have a India charger. Okay, India charger can easily be plugged into any plug. Whereas for USA charger to, plugged into normal Indian switches, you need an adapter. So this adapter pattern is also similar to this example only, where you have some certain kind of incompatible classes which require some kind of adapter to make it compatible with the one with which user want to interact. Okay, so this is the Indian charger with which user want to interact. Now he has another charger which is a kind of USA charger having a different kind of pins. So to run that charger, you need some kind of adapter over it. So there's a USA charger, you need an adapter over it. Now user can interact with both the charger with the same way as he's interacting with the Indian charger. So the adapter design pattern is similar to this example only. Okay, so what exactly the definition says that this pattern act as a bridge between two incompatible classes interface by converting the interface of classes into another interface that client expect. Okay, so the user is expecting this USA charger to go to that Indian socket. Okay, so how it can go into the Indian socket when you have certain kind of adapter over it. So what adapter will be doing? Adapter will be calling all those methods which are present in the USA USA charger, and converting those method into a format which is adaptable to the Indian socket. Okay, so that is exactly how it bridges between the USA charger and Indian charger. Okay, now what are the different components of the adapter design pattern? So basically it is having four different component. One is target interface, second is adaptee, third is adaptee adapter, and fourth is client. So let us again go back to the same example. Okay, here the target interface is nothing but your Indian charger. Okay, so this is the charger, this is which client is expecting. Okay, so client expect a kind of Indian charger which can be plugged into any Indian socket. Okay, now what adaptee is? Adaptee is equal to the USA charger. Okay, which is having some difficulty in going into the Indian socket. Okay, so to make that compatible to the Indian socket, what we need? We need an adapter. So the third one is adaptee adapter. Okay, so this adaptee adapter will be helping or kind of bridging the issue which this adaptee is getting. So what it will be doing? It will be implementing similar kind of method which are existing in the target interface. Okay, so this is the adaptee adapter, and the fourth component is the client is the one who can interact with either the target or the adaptee in a similar way. Both have a similar way of interacting. Client expect the interaction between target or adaptee in the same way. Okay, so okay, now let us switch to the practical to see how we can implement certain kind of test cases with this adapter pattern. Okay, so for explanation, I've taken the adapter as an example, but now in the practical section, I will be taking, a kind of methods which are earlier written in some kind of, framework, and now the similar kind of method have been implemented in a new kind of framework. Okay, but the method in the, older framework was little different from the newer implemented method. Okay, let us see in the practical. I mean, then we'll have a proper understanding. Okay, now this is the implementation. So here what we are doing here, there's a CRUD implementation. I mean CRUD, I mean the database activity or kind of operation. So there's a CRUD implementation which is being done using a new framework. Let's say it is 1.1 framework. Okay, now the 1.1 framework, it gives certain kind of method to get the connection string from the database, and then it is having certain kind of method, okay, which is helping in executing certain kind of SQL query on the database, and then it is also having another method which is interacting with the database to execute certain kind of update statement. Okay, so this is a kind of new compatible interface. Okay, now let us see the older way of doing the code. Now, if you see this older way of doing code, which is 0.1, okay, that one was 1.1. So here, if you see, here again we have certain kind of method. See, again, I mean, there it was dbconn. If you see dbconn, I mean, in the previous class, here connection exec SQL and exec update. Okay, whereas in the older definition, what it has, I mean, it is also doing the same thing but in a different way. Along with it also has a different naming convention for the method, okay, which is doing a kind of similar activity what newer interface is doing. Okay, but having a different method name. So here it is like get db connection, execute SQL, execute update. Okay, so the naming convention are different in the older implementation of the CRUD operation. Okay, in the in the 0.1 framework. So now to make it adoptable, because what client is expecting this kind of interaction where he can interact with the DB connection by calling this kind of method. I mean with this naming convention. Okay, whereas our older implementation is not having similar kind of naming convention for all these methods. So what we will be doing, we will be writing a adapter over this older implementation so that it can be compatible to the newer implementation. So let us create an adapter for the DB implementation 0.1. So here if you see, we have created a adapter, okay, which says that DB implementation code 0.1 adapter. Okay, so what it does in the constructor, if you see, it takes the object of the DB implementation code 0.1 class. Okay, so it takes the object of this class, and then what it is doing, it is using the same naming convention as it is there in the newer implementation of DB implementation code 1.1. Okay, so DB con conn exec SQL exec update. So but inside this method, what it does, it just call the DB conn connection from the older class, which is nothing but this class, this object. I mean this object is nothing but the object of I mean instance of the older implementation class. Okay, so it just it is not doing anything except it is just calling the calling the older method and giving wrapping it under the new name like dbcon exec sql exec update. Okay, now the naming convention is compatible to the newer version of the CRUD operation. Okay, now here if you see what we have done, we have created the object of the new CRUD implementation framework. We have the object for the older CRUD implementation, and then what we are doing, we are we are using a adapter object, and I mean adapter class and passing it passing the object of this. So now this is my new object, which is actually which is actually using a adapter to call the method of the older crude method. Okay, so this is how we can create kind of adapter pattern. Now it is the turn for the quiz.
Elfin quiz of the day. What is the primary function of the adapter design pattern in software development? Option A. It allows classes with incompatible interfaces to work together by wrapping its own interface around that of an already existing class. Option B. It ensures that a class only has one instance and provides a global point of access to it. Option C. It provides an interface for creating families of related or dependent objects without specifying their concrete classes. Option D. It allows for the dynamic addition of new operations to objects without modifying the classes. Answer the quiz by replying in the comment section below.
Okay. And thank you. If you have yet not subscribed to this channel, please do subscribe. And if you like the effort which we have put in this video, do like and also hit the subscriber button. Thank you for the day. Bye.